Hey, good morning to you. Can sleeping with your pets be bad for you when you sleep in the same bed? A survey from the Centers for Disease Control shows that 56% of dog owners in the U.S. let their dogs sleep next to them. Researchers now say this cozy cohabitation could breed some health problems. Veterinarian Dr. Tony Kremer breaks it all down for us. He is right here in the studio. It is a kind of a controversial CDC study. Good morning.
Good morning. How you doing?
I'm good, but I was a little disturbed when I read the study.
This study frightened a lot of people. There's no doubt about it.
I used to sleep with it when we had a puppy dog. We used to sleep with the dog in the bed all the time. So what is the study telling us? Is it really something we should be concerned about?
Well, first and foremost, I'm one of those 56% that let my dog and cat sleep on my bed. So again, I looked at the study and said, oh my God, this is a little bit over-sensationalized, maybe produced a little bit of panic that it shouldn't have. So again, we just want to tell people if they take the proper precautions, it's okay. It's okay. These things are, it is a real threat, it is possible, but it is not very probable.
But what did the study find? What kind of diseases were humans contracting from our pets?
Well, they all went all the way from skin rashes to things like cat scratch fever and meningitis and, for God's sake, the plague, things that are just awful.
Okay.
And so, again, as veterinarians, we may see a person get an allergic reaction from their pet, maybe a little skin rash. Those things, I don't want to say they're even common, but we've seen that. These other things are 1 in a million without a doubt.
Okay, so for the pet lovers who are still, we're going to let our pets sleep in our bed with us, what kind of precautions should we be taking?
Well, the first and foremost is making sure your pet is healthy. And that really comes from having a proper veterinary checkup once a year. And a couple of years ago, there was a few things that came out that said that we only need to vaccinate our pets once every 3 years. And although there are some vaccines that can be given once every 3 years, the bottom line is most of those vaccines that prevent diseases that we can get need to be given every single year.
Ooh,
so
okay.
Get that thought out of your mind about going every 3 years. Have your pet checked out every year. And many of the things like skin problems and that could be something that's contracted by people are going to be found early and taken care of before it could ever be transmitted to one of our family members.
I'm looking at the tips that we have on the screen right now. Obviously, keep it up with your heartworm, flea, and tick prevention, but don't let the pets lick your face. Don't you love getting kisses from the doggies?
You know, sleeping on the bed's one thing, but I have to say that probably when we talk about having a pet lick our face,
really?
Common sense would tell us that probably that's a mode of transmission for some of these things. I mean, dogs are out licking their feet, and they pick up a dead bird or something. So
I do think about that sometimes.
You know,
and they do lick,
So that's probably not a good idea. And with children, it's a good thing to remind them to wash their hands after they've had the pet lick their hands. These diseases are way more likely in children where you're dealing with maybe a little bit less hygiene.
And I know you also want to mention that there is an emotional benefit to having our pets. So, it's not,
give us so much unconditional love. They decrease loneliness and stress. And I think these benefits so outweigh the chance of catching anything from your pet from having it sleep on the bed.
And by the way, Dr.